It was an emotional day for victims of gun violence, having to relive that moment that changed their lives forever. The sentencing hearing for Christopher Husbands began today. He is the man accused of killing 2 people in the Eaton Centre shooting. 7 years and 2 trials later, 19 victims of the 2012 tragedies shared their impact statements, some staring right at Husbands while expressing how his actions devastated so many.
When your son is dying on the floor of the Eaton Centre and you live through that, and then, moving forward, you're just every day in fear of, is he going to fall? I mean, we're constantly checking on Connor. Just making sure that, he's always accounted for. And that really will go, to the end.
He's 13.
Connor Stevenson was 13 at the time when he was shot in the head in the food court with his family. Today, he suffers from severe brain damage. He says he's serving his own life sentence handed to him by Husbands.
I think what changed my life most is actually seeing how this trial process has gone. I mean, I thought I lived in Canada. I thought we had a system where people who murdered people in the middle of a mall on camera would go to jail for it and not be out in 7 or 10 years.
Heartbreak and fear expressed in all of the statements, many questioning the Canadian justice system, claiming it has failed victims of violence by making them go through the court proceedings not once, but twice.
This wasn't a question of, was he the shooter? He was the shooter. He is the one who shot Connor. The bullet went in Connor's head. And we want to make sure that that is what people understand about this.
Ahmed Hassan lost his life in the shooting. His cousin Sukri Mohammed shared her statement to the court saying in part, "I feel cheated by the justice system." A visibly emotional Craig Stevenson spoke about how his son was an active, fun-loving boy, showing pictures to Husbands. He says after the shooting, so much of who he was lost. In his statement, he says, "I felt devastated, traumatized, and confused sitting through the trial, watching the court proceedings, reliving the trauma over and over again as we go through the trial again." Husbands previously admitted to being the shooter. His lawyers argued he should be found not criminally responsible because of his mental illness. His defense team saying he was in a dissociative state because of his post-traumatic stress disorder. The sentencing hearing for Christopher Husbands continues tomorrow. It's expected to last until Wednesday.